Released in 2013, the current Corvette is not what we would call old. Despite that, not that many people know the C7 was nothing but a placeholder for GM's future sports car. They started developing a new mid-engine car more than a decade ago, but in 2009 they had to abandon those plans. However, it now looks like GM is finally going to release their dream sports car. So far the details are still scarce, but it looks like the car may hit the market as the 2019 Chevrolet Corvette, the C8. This will be an all-new car built from the ground up. It will likely stop using most of the ancient technology which underpins the current C7, which would finally allow Chevrolet to target some high-end sports car. As suggested, the new C8 will be in fact a mid-engine car, with the engine mounted behind the passengers. This should allow Chevrolet to offer a nearly perfect weight distribution and also provide a far more aggressive design scheme. While the platform is unknown, it is likely going to be a bespoke architecture which will be used only on this car. While some said they will use a space frame chassis with fiberglass as the body, this is unlikely. Instead, we can expect an aluminum frame wrapped in carbon fiber. Not only it would be lighter, but it would be considerably stronger than otherwise. This should allow the mid-engine Corvette to not just look like a supercar but also drive like one. However, it looks like some compromises will have to be made. Spy shots of the upcoming 2019 Chevrolet Corvette started to appear ever since late 2015. Then the car was nothing more than a development mule with borrowed parts from Holden and Chevrolet. A short while ago, on the other hand, the car looked a lot more complete. Thanks to that, we can safely assume the new Corvette is not that far from release. Its price might be somewhat of a shock for some. Some suggested the car will not cost more than $60,000 for a base model. While this would be great, we find this hard to believe. Instead, the new Corvette could start closer to $90,000, which would give them a lot more room for development. Most development mules we have seen so far were using the same cabin design as the current C7. This is not a confirmation that the car will be similar to the current model though. Instead, it is likely because GM wants to use the C7 as a benchmark in order to offer a better overall experience. The interior will continue to offer just 2 seats and a minimalist cabin. The big change will be the materials and likely the build quality, both of which were lacking on the C7. The car should also receive more in terms of features, but this remains to be seen. The exterior will likely be a huge step over its predecessor. We also expect to see some influences from the original Corvette, which was, in fact, a mid-engine car. Thanks to this, we could receive a modern classic look, similar to what the current Stingray did to its predecessor. There is a good chance the 2019 Chevrolet Corvette will continue to use a small block V8. However, this is where most similarities should end. The car will likely make use of a new generation naturally aspirated 6.2-liter V8. This should be capable of delivering well over 500 horsepower and 450 pounds-to-foot of torque at well above 6,000 RPM. Thanks to this engine, the new Corvette should finally be able to take its European competition head-on. On top of this, which will likely be the base engine, a twin-turbocharged V8 is also a real possibility. This one should provide over 700 horsepower, which will allow the C8 to dominate the competition. Mid-engine cars usually tend to come with an automatic only. However, the new Corvette might be one of the few to offer a 6-speed manual on certain versions. This would likely make it a favorite among car enthusiasts, and it might even allow the Corvette to get ahead of some tough competitors.